All right, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to take much more time because our time has really gone, but don't worry. We said up to what time? 6:30? I knew I'm saying. It's 6:30. Thank you. So by 6:30 latest, we will be off your space and we'll allow you to go to do your other duties. And I want to invite Humphrey just to introduce himself in the next 30 seconds or so, and then we get into it.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you so much. I think before I introduce myself, let me appreciate Otas and your team, Matthew, who is in the leadership of the youth, and the entire leadership of the youth for the amazing work that you're doing. I know it's not easy. When I was at where you are now, several years ago, I used to look forward to such opportunities because this is where growth came from. This is where you would connect with many other like-minded people. And when I see you put something together like this, I thank God for you and thanks for leading and laboring for the Lord. I know most of you, time like now, a Sunday afternoon, probably one of your fingers would have been very tired scrolling. No, there's a new pandemic in the city called scrolling on the phone that affects both the young and the old. So I think our watu who are tengenezea fomu, you call it fomu ama fomu. Yeah. I think getting a form like this for you, it's amazing, and we thank God for you. Let's just appreciate these leaders with a nice clap here. So my brief introduction, my name is Humphrey Rukaria. I'm born again. I love the Lord. I'm one of the leaders in Life Church. I've been in Life Church, I think, for the last 21 years or so. Among the few that saw Life Church when it at its infancy stage, when you would meet probably like less than a quarter of this space that we have here. We used to meet some very small buildings in the city center. We would move from one place to the other, trying to settle down. We settled here temporarily. You are all aware that now you're moving to infinity, and we thank God for the journey. More than that, I'm also in the marketplace. So I do practice ministry in the marketplace. I'm in the construction space, and I lead an organization, the branch of the organization in East Africa. I'm in charge of the affairs of the organization in Kenya. I also look after Ethiopia, Rwanda, and Uganda. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's appreciate Humphrey. You know, sir, you're very humble. You say you lead an organization. Sema tu wewe ni MD. Sema tu kutoka ndio. Unajua it's good to hii title ni yako. Hii title ni yako. Tumia tu, usiogope.
Oh, okay. Good. I was coming there. No, you have to start slowly. It's a story of a young man who was invited to preach, and the young man came running on stage and got a hold of the mic. The young man said, in the next 2 minutes, it's either the mic blows or I blow. So that's the kind of introduction the young man did to the congregation. In 5 minutes, the young man was dry. He couldn't continue after that. Then there's an old man who came, and he came slowly, climbing the stairs with some help, got on the stage, and people wondering, hey, this is the man who is coming to speak to us. When he held the mic like this, opened his mouth, everybody stood in the first word that came out of his mouth. So I'm coming slowly, but I'm managing director of an organization called Asa Abloy. This is a Swedish organization that looks after anything to do with security, safety, and convenience in the built environment.
All right. Thank you. Let's appreciate Humphrey one more time. And of course, to my right is one amazing woman. Let me not say much. Let me allow Flominah to introduce herself.
Hi everyone. Good afternoon. Mko salama? Mko fiti? Mko BA? I'm still a youth and under 30, so yeah, I have to ask kama mko BA. So Flominah is a young girl from Meru County who grew up in a simple, humble home. And literally, I don't think she had the hope that to get to where I am today, where she is today per se. I grew up in a very, very extremely humble place, completed my Form 4, had no hopes of joining college or university. Of course, I performed, I had a C regarding and looking back at where I was coming from, and most of the times that when others are in school, I was at home. Basically, I didn't see myself getting to where I am today. So through all the struggles and God being propelling every minute of my life, I've been able to come up in the NGO world and came up with an NGO called Mind to Heart Global. We are all about mental health awareness. Well, we have 6 thematic areas. That is climate, we have gender equality, quality education, partnership, and once in a while we do touch on matters to do with poverty, and that is some of the SDGs that we deal with in the organization. As a young person, I would like to really encourage everyone else in the room that your beginnings really don't matter. What matters is how you continue keeping up with consistency, and the person, your vision matters all the time. Me heading Mind to Heart Global today is a miracle. It's a dream come true. It's a dream that I don't think many people saw, but God saw it, and I had that zeal inside me, so I kept pushing. And today I'm happy to say that Mind to Heart is in Uganda, it's in Tanzania, we in Kenya, in the 47 counties, we have representatives, and we propelling mental health the best way we know how to. Thank you.
Wow. You know, if you mean to clap, you better clap. If you don't want to clap, please don't clap. That's better. If you could increase the mic a bit, that would be good, so that I don't have to shout. All right, thank you. Yeah, so Bwana Humphrey, I know you've already told us where you are, but how did you get here? In just summary, just give us a brief, like give us the trajectory. Did you just find yourself as leading this organization, or what was the journey like? I mean, what's the trajectory? Where did you begin? Where did you come from? You know, some of us, we just met you here, and boom, Humphrey is here. But there's a background to it. Just give us in summary the background so that people can see the journey that you've walked to be where you are today. Yeah.
Thanks, Taz. Yeah, of course, we always begin from somewhere. So sometimes what we see is sort of a finished product, but sometimes we may not have the time to show you the process of where we've come and how we have come. And as I think, as you're saying very rightfully, is most of us would be seeing some of us here, and we may not have the story of our journey. And it's important to share this. It's an encouragement, and also is an inspiration for most of us young people that you're aspiring to grow in your career, to grow in your life, to grow in the Lord. I think it's important to share these stories. So I was born and brought up in Meru County, and very humble beginning, schooled in very humble schools. You know, the schools in the village were really nothing much to write home about. I think there's a day I was sharing here on a Sunday service, and I gave a story on how I was trying to use this story of mine to inspire my sons or my children to work hard, and it backfired on me. So I'm hoping it's not going to backfire on you, because I put my kids together one of the evenings, and we're having dinner, and I was give them a story how we used to go to school without even shoes sometimes. The shoes could be there, but it was like sort of a taboo to wear shoes from Monday to Friday. So shoes were on Sunday when you're going for Sunday services. And when I was giving them that story and trying to show them how humble we've come, the hardships of growing up and all that, and after the story, one of my sons says, "Dad, I think your parents were very irresponsible. How can they allow you to go to school without shoes?" So sometimes some of these stories may not resonate, but I know you're not in that generation. That's the Gen Alpha and the borderline of Gen Z, so them, they might be looking at it differently. But it's true, from very humble beginning, grew up there, schooled most of the schooling there. Though in high school, I went to Embu County, where I did my high school. Interesting, I went to a school that really I had not even selected. You know, when you're doing your KCPE, there is a selection of the schools that you do. So this is school that I never selected at all. And I passed relatively well in my KCPE. I was among the top students there in that primary school. Actually, it was myself and my brother. We are competing against each other. And my brother was number 1. Then I was number 2 with 5 or 4 marks. So my brother apparently got a very nice school in Meru County. If you remember those days, those who can remember, there are some schools that were very powerful. They are provincial schools, but very, very powerful. A school like Kobo High School, it was our dream, you know, like back in Meru. So I didn't get a chance to get to any of those nice schools that you would talk about. I don't know for what reason, but everybody else got admitted. They got the admission letters, but mine did not come through. I don't know for what reason. So we tried to follow it up, and following through was very rigorous and tedious process. You had to go all the way to the provincial headquarters in your province. Remember those days we never used to have counties, we had provinces. So Eastern Province, the headquarters was Embu County. So we had to go all the way to the provincial education office and find out what's happening. So when we went there, my dad was told, no, unfortunately, all the schools are filled up, but there's this one school in Bere County that seems to have some vacancies. So are you interested? So he said, let me go and have a look at it, then I'll make up my mind. So he was driven down to a school called Chicago. We used to call it Chicago, just to make it sound a little bit reasonable. Yeah. So Chicago Boys High School in Bere County. He went there. So the amazing thing is a very good school, but it was never known. I think it's one of the few schools in Embu County and probably the whole of Eastern Province that the facilities were very fascinating. I think probably one of the schools that had very serious workshops, you know, a very serious metal workshop, wood workshop, and the dormitories were storied. The school is in a very dry place. When you're driving down there, or you put a matatu to go down there, you better have like something to cover yourself. You know, like not the rain jacket, but you need a vumbi jacket to cover yourself because you'll have vumbis all over as you drive down there.
And you're going to Chicago.
Chicago,
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You're going to Chicago. So so when he went there, I think he was fascinated by the facilities of the school, and the environment inside is also very different when you compare with the environment outside. Because I think they had done serious investment in terms of taking care of the environment, very green, nice greenery, trees. Thank God for the river that's passed through the school, and the administration of the school had used that river very well. They would pump the water into the school, and they were actually doing serious farming, and they would even sell these farm products to their community. So that's why I went there, did my high school there. The interesting thing is when I went there I was one of the, you know the endangered species. You go to a school in a different county and you are like countable. You are very few of you. Actually, I think people from any other district, we could count ourselves. We are very few in our class. We are like 2 or 3. So when I was there in in Form 1, of course, the monorization. It's called monorization. Yeah. I'm not sure that it happens nowadays, but those days it was a serious thing.
Hata wewe ulikuwa mono?
Kabisa. I was monorized, ile mbaya sana.
Life has no balance.
Apparently, I don't know for some reason, the dorm I was taken to, this dorm captain didn't like me. I don't know for what reason. He didn't like me at all. I don't know whether he's the first one that picked me from the administration block to take me down to the dorm after the admission, but he just hated me. I don't know that I was in the marginalized community. So when the people say they're marginalized, now I understand. I can fight for them from the NGO world. Yeah. So this guy didn't like me, and there was a lot of work to be done. You know, students used to do a lot of work. That was part of the culture. You do all the cleaning that you would think about. Clean the abolition blocks, the toilets, the dining halls, the classes, the corridors, everywhere. And there was a duty rota for every 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, you're cleaning this place. After other 2 weeks, you're cleaning a different place. So I saw my classmates being moved. Today you're cleaning a classroom, you're moved to cleaning the window panes. Or you're moved to kuokota makaratasi huko nje kwa compound. But myself, it was in the washroom, dining hall. Washroom, dining hall.
Hey, Bwana MD, you suffered. Hey, sorry, sir.
Sorry. Yeah, so when I look at myself in that environment, I see a semblance of Joseph. You know, Joseph went to Egypt and all those stories. I draw a lot of parallels in there. So when we were in Form 2, there was something they were calling inter-house competitions. So every house came up with different categories to compete. There were sports, then there were academics. So this dorm captain was told, by the way, there's a young man in Form 2 from your dorm who is doing very well academically. Maybe he can represent our house in the quizzes. There were academic quizzes. And we are put there from Form 2, it was from Form 2 all the way to Form 4. So reps from every house were put together for some academic quizzes. Some were general knowledge, others were mathematical, you know, something you can think quickly and give an answer. So I went into this academic quiz. I didn't even know what to prepare for. And the guy, of course, he was just sticking there, Shingo Pande, because this guy is used to washing the places you would want to mention. So what is going to do? So, but nevertheless, I sat in that quiz, and the questions were thrown. And most of the questions that were thrown, I would lift my answer and find myself giving the correct answer. Even some questions that were supposed to be handled by the Form 4s. And that was my turning point. After that point, this guy, he loved me. He changed my cube next to his cube, you know, the cubicles for the captains.
Alikuwa anataka kuchukua hiyo intelligence na diffusion.
Ndio. So he kept me very close. I was given some very menial things to do, like checking whether the beds are well spread when everybody else is out. Promotion. Yeah. Yes, of course, from there now, because I was shining academically, now also the teacher started recognizing me. I started getting being a prefect of the class. Then from the prefect of the class, into a captain or assistant captain of the dorm, like that, until when I was finishing Form 4, I was a captain of a very serious dormitory there. So I passed very well. As a matter of fact, I topped in that year, the KCSE. If you go to that school, there's something they call honors board. So everybody who tops the school, your name is there. So my name is there for that particular year. I was the best in KCSE.
Hapo ndo unapiga makofi. Wewe uko kwa board gani? Are you any board? Are you on any board in the school? Okay, wacha tuache hiyo maswali. He is the panelist. Okay.
So you can imagine from the washroom, from washing the washrooms and the dining hall. I don't know whether you were aware of these dining halls in high school. Kimathi, you are aware? Where is like a cow shed, you know, that people come, matope, nini, food is on the floor, then you're supposed to scrub. And we are doing this every morning. So you can imagine from that to the promotion of being in the honors board of the school. Then I was admitted at Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, JQAT. Those days it was a very serious technology school, probably not the ones that you know nowadays. We were one of the best campuses in the country, actually. It was being financed a lot by JICA. That's the Japanese government had invested heavily in that, and they had invested a lot in technology. So I was admitted there to do civil engineering. I did I enrolled in a civil engineering degree after an inspiration from my brother. Initially, I wanted to do medicine, but I couldn't get the points to get to medicine. My brother done electrical engineering, and his friends were done civil engineering. Apparently, that time they were doing very well. You know, they are senior guys in the government. They are chief engineers. If there's a road construction somewhere, the guy is a resident engineer. Is given a double cab vehicle. He's driving it in the village over the weekend. So my brother felt like he chose the wrong career. So he wanted somebody from the family to have an opportunity.
To make up for that.
Exactly. That is drive a double cab. Written a resident engineer down there. Yeah, so engineering and I think one of the amazing things that happened to me is just before I got into the university, I got born again. I wasn't born again high school all along, or just a nice boy in high school, but very committed in a Christian union, but though not born again. Actually, there's somebody that I met in JQuat who was from Chicago, and when I told him I wasn't born again, he was very amused. He couldn't believe it. So I got born again just some months before getting into the university. So the Christian Union, of course, I'm not sure about nowadays. I've not been to any university Christian Union lately, but it was a very serious thing, a very serious matter. The first fellowship I attended on a Wednesday, it was a midweek service, and because when you used to hear fellowships back at home, a fellowship used to be a very small gathering. It's mostly of some very old women and men in the village. So that's what they would call a fellowship on a Thursday evening. So I saw a post on the corridor. Please, and time me, I am
about to cut you, but just proceed.
Okay. Yes. I think I'll just fast forward quickly and show you where I am now. But what I want to say is, especially if some of you who are in the Christian Union nowadays, I implore you, please make advantage of the opportunity in the Christian Union. So the Christian Unions, they are very serious. When the leaders came to speak to us in front, I thought they were lecturers because the guys were in suits, they were in ties, and the glory of God was upon them. I thought the lecturers are the leaders of the Christian Union. When I again met them in the mess when you're having breakfast, I was very amazed. Kashindo ma lecturers wanakula chakula ile tunakula. But so through the university, 5 years of civil engineering. However, I had a setback in third year. I failed in one of the units. For some reason, I was not getting it. So it became a problem to me. The whole of third year, then I was given a supplementary in that same year. I did a supplementary, failed the supplementary. So
ya kwanza ukafail soup.
Ndio hiyo sasa. Yeah, it was very devastating. I think that was the first time to fail in anything academic in my life. So unfortunately, in JQuat, when you fail a supplementary, the consequences I've got to repeat that year. So I had to rewrite my third year of study. So instead of taking 5 years, I took 6 years.
Wow.
Of course, that's a story for another day, because it was very devastating, and the hand of God had to help me to be able to continue and finish my education. So when I finished, of course, I came out there. We finished the time when there was a transition government from the Moi government. If you remember, Moi government, the economy was really in tatters. It was doing very badly. And there's this new government of Mwai Kibaki that is coming in. And there was a lot of hope in the air, especially as we were done construction, civil engineering. There was a lot of projects that were lined up, and we came out with this enthusiasm and this expectation and this motivation, the new government to come out here, get the jobs. So when we came out there, our jobs are not forthcoming. Again, we had to move on the road to what we used to call tamarking and looking for jobs. They were not easily coming. But along the way, what I did, the period of tamarking, I was not choosy of anything to do. Anything that would come along my way, I would run with it. At some point, I was a high school teacher. I was teaching maths and physics in some school, Form 1 and Form 2, which I did, I think, for 1 term. And at the end of that term, I was fired because I was in delivery.
You're fired.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so so I went back to the streets, looked for work, and I did a number of things, including now with the knowledge I got from the high school teaching, I would do some tuitions, put some students together. Well, this one time I went to a pastor in Ruiro, in the Reverend Church Ruiro, and I asked him to give me a space in his church, the schools, because the classes are not being used from Monday to Friday. They're only using them on probably Saturday and Sunday. So I asked him, sir, used to be in JQuat, in the Christian Union, and they used to come and minister to us. Would you allow me to use one of your rooms for tuition, teaching Form 4 students, training them to pass the exams? And the man of God was very gracious. He allowed me to use that. So what I did, I printed some papers, some sort of invitations that they went door to door, dishing them out in the estate, in the flats. Anybody on the road, I gave them. I was amazed. Then this man of God also gave me another platform. He said, okay, on Sunday, you attend our service, I'll introduce you to the church. I came on Sunday, and he introduced me. He said, this is a young man from JQuat, just graduated, and he's going to be conducting tuitions here for Form 4 students, and you can bring your kids from tomorrow. So by the time I was leaving that service, already had a few people who were interested. So I got amazing, like I think about 12 students came in, and I kept myself busy for a couple of 2 or 3 weeks. So trying to kujituma, and not just sitting and waiting for that job, but doing anything that is available. Then of course, fast forward, now the opportunities now started coming into my space now, into the construction industry. Again, construction jobs are not there. Trying to apply for a job as a structural engineer, as a roads engineer, there's no engineering to be done, no work to be done. Engineers are shutting down their offices, and contractors, you go to the office, there's nothing, the equipment they are grounded, tires imetoboka, hakuna kazi for the last 1 year. So, but there's something that came in new in the industry, in the construction industry, something called a technical sales. So every supplier into the industry, either construction or anything technical, they would be looking for some people with a background in that field. So if you are, like, for example, if you are selling roofing tiles, for example, that's where it started. So you would want to have somebody who has done construction, maybe a civil engineer, a structural engineer, or whatever engineering, because they can understand a little bit of technical stuff in there. So again, I think that's another story for another day. That's again a job that was a miracle for me. Gotten prayed for by Apostle David Juma one of the Sunday afternoons, and I got the job on a Monday. I was told to call somebody, call the guy, went to come at 11, went to his office. I found you were seated with somebody from Nation Center to put an advert in the Nation newspaper. Those days, there was the emails that don't come. They're not very popular. So a Nation, if you want to put an advert, you have to call somebody from the media house to visit you so that you can draft the advert in the office. So I found him seated with this guy from Nation Center, Nation newspaper, and they're drafting the advert for that position. Then he says, I'm the one who was calling you. He says, oh, you're the one? Okay, let me look at your CV. To make the long story short, he said, I think you are God sent. He sent the guy from Nation newspaper away.
And that is how they lost business.
Yeah.
All right.
And the advert was not put on, and he said, I'll give you an opportunity because they've come, and let's see what comes. So this guy molded me so much into the area of technical sales. He went ahead and even converted now into the business thinking. He actually went out of his way to pay for me a diploma in business management, because he was telling me, you are thinking a lot like an engineer. I want you to think like a business person.
Oh, yeah.
So took me to Kim, did a diploma there in business management, and that was a shift now from just looking at things engineering. I was beginning to look at money into that. So out of that, I built some good experience, and when my current organization had an opportunity to employ, I put in my application. I went through the interviews, got the opportunity, I was employed in there. They were looking for somebody to do export sales. So they were looking for somebody to go out there, out of Kenya into Uganda. They're looking at Uganda, Sudan, Rwanda, Burundi, Ethiopia, somebody to go and drive the business development executive into those regions. And I got that opportunity. I went there, used to do a lot of traveling to create the markets for the organization there. And I grew from there to be a marketing manager at some point. And then from there, an opportunity came for a managing director. Again, another miracle. This, I did not even apply. Being an organization, a multinational organization, you normally go through a very rigorous recruitment process. But this was another sheer miracle. There was a board meeting that was happening back in our office in Nairobi. I didn't know. My boss was retiring, but I didn't know. So, in that board meeting, I was called in. Actually, I went nikitetemeka because I didn't know why are these people calling me.
Wanataka kunivuta ama nini?
Ndio hiyo. But I went looking for, as I went up the stairs, I was looking for what am I going to tell them? Because the business at that time was a little bit not doing very well. So when I got in, it was 5 minutes meeting. I was told, now so-and-so is retiring in 3 months. Do we think you are the best person who can take up that position? Are you interested? I did not say, let me go and pray about it. No. Yeah. You say yes, you pray later.
Yeah.
So I said, yes, got the opportunity. Then, of course, later on, now you trust God to give you the wisdom to navigate through.
Wow.
Thank you.
What a story. Wewe shule yako ulikuwa unachukuliwa na gari. Wengine walikuwa wanajifunika na jacket ya vumbi. Lakini ona Mungu. So, kuna story. Philomena. It is interesting that he's talking about Meru, you are talking about Meru. I don't know whether this is a coincidence. I didn't see this coming. So tell us, were you also through this process? Ama wewe ni cool kid,
To Speaker Humphrey, thank you for your story. It's inspiring. Well, for me, I think, wow, where do I start? So basically, I'm a firstborn, born in Meru as well. I've grown up in Meru. I went to one public school that is called Mbujo Primary School. Mbujo Primary.
Hiyo jina.
That one. I went to school hoping to study and school like any other kid. But while I was in around class 1, I got defiled, and my life kidogo hapo ikapiga turn moja kubwa sana, and I didn't stop. I still continued schooling. Of course, now that is trauma number 1. I've gotten a trauma to deal with, and I have to deal with for as long as it has been. So I was a performer in school. I was that student who will be getting, kama ni mitiani ni 6, wejua mimi nitapiga at least 550. But I think the turn in grade 2 made a very, very big turn in my life, and my life wasn't the same anymore. So from there, I schooled in class 3. I happened to be one of the best students in the whole of was it the district that was big or the province? Then the province. And my name was all over in every school.
Class 3.
Yeah, my name was all over, and my aunties watoto wao wanaenda wanaambia tulisikia jina ya kazini yangu bra and all that. So God opened a door. That was a miracle for me. I managed to get a sponsor, and I was taken to boarding school in grade 3. And from there, I think again my life ikapea another turn. Because now in boarding school, I didn't have to deal with all the things that were at home. I didn't have to deal with all the traumas, because the person who defiled me was at home. So I would see them every day. So being in a boarding school now, I met very nice teachers. I was in a very good school. Then the school was just starting, but at the moment it's a very big school. I managed to study. I got good support system from the school, and all the way to grade 7, I think my school life was perfect, to say. And when I got to grade 7, my sponsor passed, and again I started another drama. I dropped out of school. I had to stay at home for, that is first term and second term in class 8, and then went back, did my class 8 exams, got a 321, and tukafunga shule, tukaenda nyumbani. my fungaing of shule almost fungad forever. Because after that, I remember staying at home. Nobody cared about high school. I don't know if they were not aware that I'm supposed to go to high school or whatever was happening. But I remember staying at home the whole of first term. When others are in Form 1, I was at home babysitting my younger siblings, and my mom is as if kidogo tu haikuwa imemkatch kama naenda shule. So again, God came through. I was a prayerful person, and I got a sponsor who took me again to Form 1. Now this time I go to Form 1, I'm received well, and after some time also the sponsor kidogo akapata some each acha kulipa school fees nikiwa sasa hiyo form term 3. So from there, that is when now life began properly. I struggled to be in school. I struggled to school. I remember performing very well. I was a A student, Form 1, Form 2, but with a lot of struggle. But in Form 3, I think it hit bad, because now I think the traumas started coming through again. This time, I had to go back at home and find the same person that defiled me, and they continued doing it. So it hit me so hard. To a point whereby nikashindwa hadi kusoma. I got so depressed that I couldn't eat. I got so depressed that education became an issue. From getting an A, I remember in now Form 2, second term, opening exam I had an A. Midterm exams, because in between tulitumwa nyumbani, midterm exams I had a D+. I was called in the staff room. They tried to talk to me, what is happening, why are you dropping, blah, 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 but I couldn't talk. And that was a shocker to the school. It was a shocker to students who were schooling with, because ulikuwa ni hesabu, we kuja kwa meza yangu. Ilikuwa anything, come to my desk, I will support in that. And from there, I think I wasn't able to pick up myself again. I dropped so drastically, nika remain hapo D+. And then, in Form 3, I got so sick because of the depression, and I went out of school. I went out of school in Form 3, Term 1. I came back to do the end exam. I went again home, and when others opened for Form 2, that is Term 2, I remained at home. Then the teachers somehow tried to talk amongst themselves, and the principal, they got me back to school. I again came back to school, did the midterm. I went home, came back and did the end term. And then Term 3, I was at home the whole of the term. And then I came back because now this time we were doing the mock exam. And I had to do the mock exam for me to be promoted to Form 4. So when I went back to school, it was a deal. Ukazane, usome, upate B+, ndio tukupeleke Form 4 kwa sababu Form 3 yako hujasoma. So I had to sweat. Iyo mock nipate B+. But Mungu ni nani? I got an A. And I don't know even where that came from, because I don't know. I just had to overstudy and overdo everything until I got that. I was promoted to Form 4. I went to Form 4, nika miss out tena, Form 4 Term 1, nika miss out for Form 4, the half of Term 2, and then I went back to school. And I remember when we got to the KCSE, nilitumwa nyumbani kama Friday, we are starting exams on Monday. And that hit me big time. Because I was like, vile kwetu kuko misi yonika nitarudi shule, hapo ndio masomo yangu imeishia. So I remember there is this one teacher called Mr. Wainaina. On Monday morning, he calls my mom and sends me transport. That's how bad things were. Like the teacher sent transport, akamwambia, no, Flominah cannot miss the KCSE, she has to come and do it. I went back to school, sat for my KCSE. In between, I got sick because of the depression. I was doing my exam from the hospital, managed to complete and got a C. And may I end the story there?
Tell us. Tell us how you got where you are now.
Yes, I got a C, and everyone is expecting when you get that, maybe you go to to that campus and all that. My life started the moment I stepped at home. My mama, I think, was also going through some depression in her life. I remember we finished exam like yesterday, we're going home today, and when I went home, sijui alishikwa na nini, but I remember her burning my clothes, all of them, and telling me, you have to go back to your father's place. Mind you, that father is the person who had been defiling me all my life. I remember that specific day, that was one of the many times I ever tried suicide, but that one was almost complete. Because nilishindwa, mama umechoma nguo zangu, mimi sija kukosea. Now there is my dad who I have to go and face, I don't know how, who has been really on my neck and has messed my life big time. I remember just walking out, by the way, mtoto ni mtoto, because I went to that father's home. And nilijipeleka kichinjio. He didn't stop, he continued with what he knew how to do best. And this time he reminded me, now that you're finished Form 4, you can be my girlfriend. And my dad is he's a public figure, so I'm not allowed even to mention his name here. So he told me, unaona yo, that is the time TX zilikuwa zimetokea. Yeah. Akaniambia, unaona yo TX and some other, ilikuwa korora something. If you become my girlfriend, you don't have to struggle. If you become my girlfriend, I will make sure I provide you with everything. But there is that God that pushed me through life. There is that God that I used to play as a young girl. And I told him, I remember we fought. If you've never fought with your parents, I have. I remember we had to fight for me to walk out of the door. And my life turned the moment I made it out of that door. And from there I went to the street. I was like, my mom doesn't want me. She feels I'm a burden. She got me when she's in Form 2. She always believed that I'm the person behind making her life miserable. And my dad is not anybody I can even count on. And I decided to do life how I didn't know how to. You know, there's a way you know how to do things. This one I didn't know how to do it. So I just walked out, went to the streets, and found some girl, simkumbaka jina, but I remember telling her, mimi siwezi rudi kwetu. And I was crying, and all she was asking, why are you crying? And I told her, me, I'm just looking for a place, somebody who can adopt me or something. I didn't even have an ID, because I completed school when I was 17. So I had to wait for a whole year to get an ID. Lakini Mungu ni nani? God is God and will forever be God. That lady told me, tuko na kazi tunafanyanga, tunauza toothpaste, tunauza toothpaste and sabuni. That is the time Detrix ilikuwa imetokea imevuma sana. And she told me, utakuwa unauza? Me, I told her I have never done marketing. I even don't know how to kuuza it. And she was like, I will teach you. So the first 3 days were training how to sell Detrix and some other Colgate called Shiny Peel, something. And I managed. I remember the first 3 training days, I managed to sell over 2,000. And she was like, wow, you're good, you're perfect in this. And that is how my life started. So I didn't go to university. I didn't go to college. I literally began marketing. And in the process of marketing, I think I was trying to perfect in everything that I was given in that office. Because ilikuwa office fulani, mnaenda mnauza toothpaste 100, they give you a commission of 20 bob. Sorry. And I used to get a commission of 500 per day, so you can imagine how much I used to sell and how many toothpaste I had to sell and the Detrix. So I survived through that the whole of 2015. I managed to even do some little saving. This time, mtoto ni mtoto too. I even forgot, after seeing the money I would even send to my mom and support her with her family. Now we even became friends because I had something I would give. And then again, kidogo that company, I don't know what happened, because we just woke up one day and we were told it's not existing. Fast forward, I now had to drop and go back home where I'm not even welcome. Nilitime wakati nyumbani wako na party ya cousins. Hiyo time ndio nikaenda nyumbani pia mimi, si ama cousin. So in the process, I find one of my cousin who is from South Sudan, and she tells me, you know, I want to employ you as a house girl in my home. And I was like, mimi sina shida. Utanilipa ngapi? 5,000. Asa hata usinilipe, bora unibaie nguo na viatu na chakula, I'm okay. She took me in, brought me now that time to Nairobi. Although we used to live in Nairobi some times ago, this time sasa nikikuja nikiwa mkubwa nikijijua, that was my first time. So I came to Nairobi. I worked for her for some almost 7 months also. She didn't used to pay me, but she used to give me good life per se. Kutoka mali nilitoka, whatever she was giving me was almost perfect life. So in the process, again, cousins, family ni family. In the process, my cousins were like, you know, you've never dated, blah, 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 blah. So we will get a boyfriend for you. You know, I still have a vision for going to school, but hapa wao, instead of looking at the vision of me going to school, they saw like, you've never dated, so you need to date and experience. Fast forward, they got me a husband who we lived for almost 7 years. I struggled in the marriage. There was a lot of fight because nimepewa kwanza mtu mwenye akona masters na mimi am a form 4 leaver. Where Kizungu was never suzunguing in that house. And mind you, I still had that vision of going back to school. So in the marriage, it never worked. I always talk about the part I prayed. I went into a marriage a very naive person, zero knowledge, zero information. I was just there because I was put there by cousins. And life wasn't easy. I got my son, who is now 8 years old, and I'm still under 30. So yeah. So it wasn't easy. So in the process, I remember while I was going through the heavy moments in marriage, the fights, the GBVing, I remember that is the time, I think it's Youth Alive and Oxfam had come up with a project in WeCare, something to do with WeCare. And nilikuwa nimelala nje that night. So mzee wa kijiji akanipata and the soldier told him, unajua mama anafukuzangwa kila siku. Anafukuzangwa analala hapa nje na sisi. And she has a young kid, but atujui shida ni nini. Mtamsaidia aje? Mind you, mzee wa nyumba 10 anaambiwa hivyo, it's a flat that you're paying that 5,000. So that mzee wa nyumba never understood. Mnasema analala nje kwa nini? Sinaona watu wanaishi hapa ni matajiri, the perspective of the community. And I remember akanitia that the county coordinator, youth coordinator by the name Kibaki, and he came, we talked, and then he told me, kesho kuna program. And your program utakuja mahali fulani maisha poa. And I remember that was the turning point of my life to date to where I am. I remember sleeping outside, even that night. Asubuhi nikaamka, I have this suit that has been given as a push gift. I remember nikapanda 2 stairs, nikaenda kwa nyumba, I took a shower. My hair was so shaggy. I wish I could come with the photos. You should have told me. I was so shaggy, but I put on the suit, the courage. I had not slept. I was crying even nikiwa kwa matatu all the way Kawangware nikienda maisha poa. And then I got there, I was the first person in the whole room. Sasa hata sijui napata kina nani na sijui wakubwa ni kina nani.
Okay, fast forward.
Fast forward. That program changed my life, and how it changed my life. In that program, they spoke about GBV. They spoke about mental health. They spoke about women empowerment. And from that program, I managed to start learning and knowing myself. From that program, I managed to start knowing how I can get someone to take me back to school. I went back to school in college in 2021, and that was the beginning of who Flominah is today. After that, I'm still in school, I'm still a student, but the program did not end, it's still there to date. So I got a mentor by the name Purity. She's been mentoring me to date. And from that, I learned that, since I have a vision of supporting and being there for people in the community, there is something I can do better. So as the program was going on, I was learning about human rights, about my rights as a woman, gender-based violence, and how it has affected me, the mental health perspective that like all the problems that I had to go through. So in 2022, March date 22, I registered my organization now as a CBO on that specific day. And that CBO was per se, nikijiambia, mine. So I just looked for a few friends in school who we had done with the first module. I told them, I want to do something and this and this and this. They were like, okay, let's chip in. And we registered it, and that has been the turning point completely of the person I have been. So we registered the CBO. We started doing our small advocacy on Twitter. We started doing our small advocacies on our phones. We would visit schools. Mine was I had that zeal. I was like, I want to talk to all the girls who have been defiled when they are young. So in the process of doing that, in 2023, I had a mega event in Kikuyu. It was a cleanup event. We partnered with Rotary Club. We partnered with so many other organizations. And I managed to get some sponsors from Uganda. It's called Nouns DAO Africa. So when they came, they were like, you're so passionate about what you're doing, and your story can change so many other lives. So from there now, they picked up and they told us, they told me, we want a mind to heart in Uganda. So that was my first time to even walk out of Kenya. So I was like, wow, the miracles continued happening. I managed to go. So we started a Mind to Heart there, which continued even here. Now, today, where we are as Mind to Heart, I'm grateful to God, because it's not about the education per se. It's not about the so nice support system that I had there. It is about that dream. I had the zeal, I had the will, and the consistency in everything that I did. I've been able to get to where I am, and I will encourage any other young girl, young man in the room, don't give up even when the storms are too bad. Don't give up, they will end. And if you feel like you want to give up, call me. I will remind you something. Call me, I'll talk to you. Call me, we will have a conversation, and you realize how important you are. Today I'm doing so many other things apart from Mind to Heart. I'm a board member of so many other organizations. I'm also doing so many other activities, even in schools, even where my son is. And I've been able to speak up, and I'm writing my book at the moment. So there's no space of giving up.
All right,
And don't
all right.
give up.
What a story. Ladies and gentlemen, our panelists are loaded. They have quite moving stories. But because I'm looking at that watch and I'm like, can we hold that time? But we can't. So I don't want to take much more time. I want to shift the gears a bit, and I want us to go into the marketplace. You are in the corporate space. You are in the development space in terms of the NGOs. And these young people seated here, some of them are in college, others are out of college, others are looking for employment, others are in employment, but wanasikia ni kama wanaweza resign, unajua hiyo environment wanasikia ni toxic. Si tunajijua hiyo environment ni toxic. So Bana Humphrey, I know maybe you've not told us the years that you've held that position, but what is that one thing that has kept you in that position, that every day you wake up and you look forward to going to that office? Because you see, there are some people seated on this side. Tomorrow is a working day, but they're like, if I had an option, it's only that lazima lipe rent, otherwise ningelala tu. So what is it, that one thing that will make you wake up tomorrow and you're not like, kama si rent? Because probably there has to be a motivation. What is it, that one thing that has kept you going to that office every other single working day, that can help these young people maybe just to brood over, so that even them tomorrow they will be looking forward, or siseme kama si rent? Yeah.
I think your task. Yeah, I've been in this organization, if I count now, I joined this organization in 2006 as a very young man, just beginning my career.
Wow.
This is 2025. But I took over the position of the managing director in 2016. So
wow.
This is my 9th year.
9 years later.
Yes, as a managing director. Now, I think my philosophy and my motivation, or rather what has kept me for all those years in this particular organization, in this space, is one principle that I have is I do not necessarily do what I love, but I love what I do. Is there a difference? Yeah? Look,
Yeah, there is.
is a difference. Can you find it? As a civil engineer, my desire was to be sitting by the computer and come up with these nice structural designs. We went through serious training in engineering, or become some serious resident engineer, supervising some road construction or some mega project, the Taranta Stadium and all those kind of things. But when I finished college, I did not get an opportunity, or rather, that opportunity did not show up. So what showed up was technical sales. So do I sit back and say, but I love my civil engineering, I cannot do sales? I went forth and said, I have to love what I do. And that has been my motto, that has been my philosophy in my work years and experience, is when I apply myself to something, I have to love it.
Wow.
Can you imagine how you can struggle if you're doing something you do not love? Yeah. So you have got to love what you are doing, and that's what has helped me all those years. I've risen where I've risen, of course, by God's grace. I recognize that the favor of God has been upon me because there's a message I preached one time here, and I was calling it divine acceleration into your destiny. So one of the things that I really recognize and thank God for was an element of God accelerating my growth into the marketplace. Because when I got a setback in my third year, I was a very, very key figure in the Christian Union. I was the vice chairman of the Christian Union at JQuat. And I told you those guys were bishops.
They had glory.
Yeah, and yeah. We didn't have the devils like like otters, but it was, I think there's a way, the culture of the Christian Union those days, is a way the leadership was esteemed. You know, they were really like the movers and shakers in the Christian Union those times. So I was in a very high position, very highly esteemed, everybody looking up unto me. But again, those positions were very busy because I tell you, we used to have missions. The door-to-door witnessing, I think almost every weekend, you'll be out there ministering somewhere. And I've got meetings. I was in the executive committee of the Christian Union. You used to have meetings almost every day of the week. And I remember engineering is waiting for me, calculus, algebra, drawings, and all those things are waiting for me. So to some extent, there was a little bit of lack of balance on my side in terms of balancing the serving the Lord and my academics. We almost went into full-time ministry, yet we are students. So there was a bit of lack of balance in there. So that setback, I made a prayer to God. I said, God, yes, I know my peers, they'll be 1 year ahead of me when I'm finishing college. Most of them will be, probably even I'll be looking out for employment from them when they come out there. But I told God, please accelerate me. Divine acceleration. And God answered that prayer. He seriously accelerated me.
Wow.
Nasi kwa maringo. Are we live?
Yes, we are live.
Yeah.
Yes, we are live on the Live Church International Facebook page and YouTube page.
What I wanted to say is in our class, you know, the class that went ahead of me, remember the class I was in, then I repeated 1 year. I was the first person to buy a car in that class.
Hapo ndo unapiga makofi.
Yeah.
Wewe.
So there was such acceleration that came in, and God, I think that's why I think it's I like the theme that you put together, that it's a good thing to bear the yoke when you are young.
Yes.
Because there's some things that we did when we are young. Right now, it may not be practically possible. Because, like, for example, right now, I can go for a mission for a week. I cannot be out there every weekend, you know, ministering and preaching. But there is the longer points that we accumulated, or rather I accumulated those days. There are some prayers that we made day and night, and God stored those prayers somewhere. And when we were out of college, God was so faithful to answer them. So there's an element of God granting me favor and locating me and leading me into some good organizations. When I go to an organization, of course, that's not my first organization to work with. Before then, I'd worked for 2 other organizations. Yeah. And even in those 2 organizations, I excelled a lot. And the reason for excelling was I would love what I do. There's one Windy I worked for. I only worked with him for 9 months. We are doing construction chemicals and structural investigation. So he was doing some very specialized construction chemicals. You know, in the construction industry, there are some things that called the structures are sick. You know, there's a beam and column that is sick and needs some repair. A sort of a chemical to do that. So he was selling those products. So when he employed me, I was so aggressive because basically those solutions he was offering, the customers, number one, were the structural engineers. So you need to go talk to the structural engineers so they can specify those products into the problems where they're having them. So when he employed me in the third, I think in the third month, I was so aggressive in marketing the product. He called me to his office He told me, slow down. Slow down now. You're overdoing it. Can you imagine an employer telling you that? Because now, how you're doing it, you're also giving the competitors an opportunity. I'm not seeing it that way. Because he said, our name will start going viral, then the competitors will also start picking what you're doing. But what I want to mean is the element of loving what you do and also kujituma.
Right.
That one I have to say it again and again. Kujituma. And another employer, I worked with him, I think, for another I worked with him for 2.5 hours. He put me as a director in the company by force, by fire. He just brought a document and said, you have to sign.
You are the director.
Yes.
You did not apply.
Exactly.
But you are the director.
Because, of course, there was also a
Design
trick to it.
acceleration.
Myself and another gentleman wanted to tie us into the organization. Because
Oh,
he
yeah.
says, where I die, you die. Where this company dies, we die together. So, but
Wow.
he's not doing this out of anything else, because we are many employees in that organization. But there's something he saw in us, and I would say the element of kujituma. Of course, you trust God first, but again, also remember, you've got to activate this trust, this faith. You've got to go out there and apply it. For in all my career life, all my work life, I've always been on the forefront, kujituma, being proactive. I remember like this guy, I worked with him for quite some time and he trained me a lot of things. It was like a startup organization, but he had a very big vision, which did not, at some point, I think, did not go very far. He's mixed himself up with some other things, but he had a very, very big vision. So he gave us one car for sales. So this vehicle, he was the driver. He gave us a driver and a vehicle. You were 3 of us salespeople, 2 gentlemen, myself, another gentleman, and a lady. And this vehicle would pick the kids. The driver go to his house, pick the kids, drop them to school, then come to the office and pick us from the office. Then we go into the field, into sales. Then by 3 o'clock again, he's got to drop wherever we are, even if we are in Thika. He's got to leave us there, rush to pick the kids. But I can tell you there's no single day that we did not work. Na si ile kufanya kazi ya unasema uko kazi but you're doing other things. Because we are selling this product a lot to the architects to specify it. Let me tell you the number of architectural offices I know in this city to date. I can take you even when my eyes are closed, because I knocked on every office of an architect. We ensure that the product is there. We ensure that they are putting them into their specifications, got the drawings specified for them, sites. The guy would pick us and drive aimlessly, drive towards Karen, any construction site, even if they put a very serious Maasai at the gate. Tunaenda hapo, we humble ourselves and talk to the guy until he opens for us, get to know maybe the foreman or the contractor, but that's how committed, that's how kujituma we get. So I would be, though humility, I think I would say that the element of hard work has paid off. So the position I have now is by merit. I can say that with a lot of confidence. That is by merit, is not by that I'm, maybe I was the best among all the people who are there, but there's another element of going out of your way.
Yeah.
And kujituma, committing yourself, loving what you do. Because you say, if that's what you're doing now, why are you beginning to love something else out there?
Just love what you do.
Love that what you do.
Yeah.
Die with it. If you switch to something else, love it. Die with it.
Wow. So I don't know if you're loving what you're doing or you're just doing what you love. So you better choose. Be wise, okay? Yeah, be wise. Flominah, in 1 minute, what is that one thing that has kept you waking up every other day and going to your organization? One thing, in just less than 1 minute.
First thing, consistency. Second thing is working as if I work for God.
All right.
Yes.
Wow. Brief to the point. I want us to get a mic to the other side. If we could just get that mic to Joseph here. I don't want to add more questions. I want the questions now to come from that end, because I'm looking at that time and it's like, I don't know what's happening to this time today. Inaenda sana, sijui ni mimi ama, but inakimbia sana. So I want to get the mic to that end. So today we are not having any structured way of asking questions. You've known Humphrey now, you have the background, you've had his story and all that. You've known Flominah, you have the background and all that. So please shoot your question. Please make sure it is to the point very quickly, because this is your event. So let me not ask any other question. Yes, so just shoot your hand up, as the question will be taking like, oh, there's a question back there already. So we'll be having like, and there's another one here. Is your hand up? Yes, there's another one here. So talk up. We'll take like three. Oh, there's another one here. Any other? I just want to know how many we have. Just raise your hand so that we know where we are taking. 1, 2, 3. Any other? So we'll take those first 3, then tutasonga. Yes.
So thank you so much. I'm Charles, and thank you so much for the insight shared. So for me, it will be more to Mr. Humphrey. As a Christian, how do you navigate corporate politics, especially when you're dealing with non-Christian managers and bosses? Thank you.
Corporate politics. How do you navigate as a Christian? Just bring mic here to the chairman.
Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
First and foremost, I'm grateful for the panelists for accepting to come and even to charge us. So my question goes to Mr. Humphrey. You see, you said that you love what you are doing, not doing what you love. I think I'm also in the same line. I also did engineering and ended up being a technical salesperson. So I'm very happy to find somebody of the like trade. So my question is, you see, like in our generation, there is this push or the mindset that when I'm employed, you've already gauged your salary markup. I am a degree holder, but these people with me, they are diploma holder. And you're working in the same department. So when you are coming, you have this expectation that since I'm a degree holder or have this qualification, if they can't give me this salary, and you remember sometimes they don't tell you the salary. After passing the interview, you get the document, and when you open it, reading it, you read that it is 30,000 before
uko na degree.
Yeah.
Wanataka kukupea 30.
Before
Matthew, engineer.
Before
Okay.
deduction of tax.
Before deduction.
Yeah.
So you're saying it might be even 20 something.
25 or 23.
23.
Yeah.
Hey.
And again, you realize that it entails your transport, it entails your rent.
Umesema 23 iko na transport na rent.
Yeah, plus lunch.
Bado hujalipa tokens. Okay.
So, I would like whether you can speak on the idea of, according to me, my thought is that the first 2 years of employment is basically a higher learning kind of institution. So, as an MD, will you please talk on the same so that we can know whether tusikwe na pressure, because tunafikaga pale unakuaga na pressure mingi and you get the shocker. Okay. So depression inaanza mapema, ulishakopa, umesema jamaa wa kiatu umemwambia ni supply viatu za 3 hivi, vitu kama hizo, and you end up losing the.
Umesema kiatu tunue ya 200. Okay. Let's get to Margaret. Let's get the question from Margaret. Just okay. Yes, I'm writing. Yes. All right. Yes, the young man is doing a good job. Thank you, Joseph. Yes. Any other? Okay. Any other person? Yes. Then we have Nikki here. One last person. I want to take 5. Then we have my friend over there. Yes. Okay.
Hey, praise God.
Hallelujah.
I am sitting because I don't want to block her.
Yeah,
so
it's fine. It's fine.
So my question goes to, thank you for the panelists. My question goes to both of you. I'll start with Flominah. You know, mental health is a big deal, and we are dealing with different generations. But my real question comes to you, especially with the GBV and other violence. I happen to go to some weekend challenge in secondary school, and every time when we have the panel or we have one-to-one talk, they always have question of defilement. And many of them, they have not opened up. or maybe someone scares them or someone in the neighborhood. And I always find it hard that you don't want to commit yourself, you walk with them until, because we have busy other things you forget. And I may promise something I may not fulfill. So I would love to know, how do someone goes about, yes, you want to help them, yes, you want them to open up, and yes, you want them to be healed. So what are the channels and the better way to counsel this particular person? Either they were defiled when they were young, either it's a neighbor or it's a cousin. How do you help them in the journey of healing? I would love to know that.
All
And
right.
then to Mr. Humphrey, my question is, how do you balance life, social, family, work-life balance? That at some point you're not having burnout, and that you need attention here, in the market, in your family, a father, husband. I would love to know how you navigate all these things, that you don't put more energy in one and you lose the other one.
All right. Thank you. All right, Joseph over here. There's this young man. Yes.
Praise the Lord.
Amen.
Thank you for the opportunity. My question would go to Flominah, but it is related with what Margaret has said.
So just summarize it in the interest of time.
Yes, because I was like to ask how she managed to heal out of that. And when you come across such people, how do you go about, talking to them and counseling them? Thank you.
All right. Let's get the mic here to Nikki. Just pass. Yes, over here. There. Yes. All right.
Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Nikki. My question is to Flominah. I am a psychologist as well, a counseling psychologist. I just want to know, how do you monetize that? Because I think most people think that community work and CBOs, like you'll work for free and you will not, like it's like community work, so for kulipwa, and all that. So how do you monetize that? And yeah, it was understand. And also I'm transitioning from communications to psychology and all that. Do you think, like, what is your advice, Apple?
All right. All right. Thank you, Nikki. I think we pick those ones for now. So I want us to be very brief. So we'll answer these questions very briefly. I know our panelists are able to make it short, precise, and to the point. Being an MD, unajua kuna kitu into a PowerPoint presentation. You only have like 10 minutes to make sure that that person becomes an investor in your organization. And they don't have time. So corporate politics, you're a Christian. And in the corporate world, there's a lot of politics. How do you deal with it? You're a Christian. Probably your boss is not. But the politics around who is to be promoted, who is to go for this trip, but DM is involved. Wengine unakuwa short change, unaambiwa wewe, you are not aligning. There's something they wanted you to sign, you did sign. So now you are paying for your sins, quote unquote. So how do you deal with corporate politics?
Right, I think that's a very important question, and it's a reality in the marketplace, corporate politics and all those things that go around it. The first thing I would say is, first of all, remember that you are Christian. So your worldview, your values are very different from the values and the worldview of your colleagues or your bosses who are not Christian. So the first thing that you've got to recognize is that they are the boundaries that the Word of God has set forth for you as a Christian. Because you see, we are supposed to go out there and be light and salt to the world. We are not supposed to go out into the marketplace and get contaminated by the marketplace environment. So one of my strategies, I would say, for myself is I really don't get involved. That is the first approach. You do not get yourself involved in a certain the politics in the office. I know sometimes you'll find people gathered together and they're really tarnishing the name of their line manager. They are tarnishing the name of the employer. Apparently, I've done some interviews and some people come and say, why do you want to leave your current employer? Hey, jamaa anafungua.
Where?
Yeah, he tells you the way the bosses are bad. A lot of very negative things about the employer. You just want to leave. So remember that you are Christian, and you should be the salt and the light into the world. So don't get involved in the first place, because when you get involved in it, definitely you'll get defiled in there. Then make your stand known. Yeah. When they know your stand, when they know what you stand for truth, you stand for certain values, then they will be giving you a wide berth when it comes to politics. Even your bosses who may not be Christians, they recognize the Christian values in you, and they will treat you as such. They know there's a line that brother so, sister so cannot get involved in. So even when they're doing their politics, they know you cannot be participator in that.
All right.
So, but again, also there's an element of having this realization that marketplaces are welfare. So there's also the spiritual part of it. So you've got also to contend for your position in the marketplace, so that you do not become like a punching bag for every other Tom, Dick, and Harry in the organization, but also you can trust God and wage war and fight for your position as a Christian in that organization. And stand, fighting is not a bad thing, so long as you're fighting it from the point of the biblical point of contending for your position and for your place where God has placed you.
All right. So you need to know where to be a lamb and when to be a lion.
Yeah. And wisdom. I think
wisdom.
My wife talks about wisdom.
And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, the beautiful wife is in the house. Let's just appreciate Susan. All right.
Again, trusting God for wisdom, like for example, when people are engaging in politics, you can throw in a word and it comes down everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. You throw in a godly word that with a lot of wisdom, with a lot of grace, that will stop any political advancement in whatever area it is.
Wow. Yeah. While still at you, Humphrey, before I jump to Flominah, mimi ni engineer, niko na degree, 4 good years, 5 actually, 5.
Yeah.
And in some instances, even 6 or 7. Nimeitwa interview. I have gone through the 6 steps of the interview: written, psychometric, what, online, individual, panel, practical, mpaka wakanipea assignment nifanye theory. 7 steps. Wakafanya mpaka background check. Wamepiga simu mpaka JKUAT. Wakapa wenyewe alikuwa hapa. Hiyo yote. Then they bring the contract, 30,000. Bado kuna deductions. Kuna SHA. Kuna housing levy.
Yeah.
Pay as you earn. Fuel levy. Hata wacha nisiendelee. Net pay 23,200. This is my transport. I'm a young man, I'm dating. My girlfriend sijampeleka coffee. This is the rent. Stima lazima nilipe. Kiateka nakata maji by 5th. Surely. How do I survive?
Right. 30,000. What's your starting point? You're earning 30,000 from where? If you've been earning 50,000, then you're coming down to 30, then I would say, yeah, there's a problem there. But if you're starting from 0 to 30,
there's an elevation.
Yeah. Already that's quite a promotion, right?
Na hapo ndio napiga makofi. Hiyo ni point.
So sometimes it's really not how much you are earning, but how are you managing the little that you're earning. I don't know that my wife will allow me to say this, but am I allowed?
Amesema uko sawa.
Yeah. Who can guess, probably as an engineer, because I graduated as an engineer, just a weird guess. What sort of a starting salary do you think I started with?
Yeah?
Yeah? 50? 50,000? Yeah?
50,000?
15. 15. Yeah?
25. Somebody saying 25.
25.
The last guess.
The last one?
Yes, you're saying something?
Yeah?
20.
20.
Okay.
My starting salary as an engineer was 12,000.
12,000.
Yeah.
Engineer. Umesema 6 years.
12,000. That's where I started.
Hawakuona 6 years.
And this employer was very generous with the titles. Very generous.
The title bila pesa.
Now I'm telling you, when we'd go for a meeting, the first thing when we just go to the boardroom and we're meeting the clients and the engineers, the first thing is, this is Engineer Kenywa. This is Engineer Odhiambo. This is QS, so and so. He was very generous with the titles, and they were written in big capital letters on our business card, 12,000 as an engineer. So, but I can tell you, for me, that was a serious promotion, because I was on my way to upcountry. When I got the 12,000 job, was one of my leg was one of my signals was on Thika Road downwards, because the life in Nairobi had gotten to a point where it was unbearable. I couldn't survive, and had reached almost to the end of it. So the 12,000 was, it was from that. What percentage is that? From 0 to 12,000. Just do the maths, Simeon. That's a serious percentage. You have nothing to 12,000. So anyway, I think the point here is sometimes it's really not about the much money you're earning. It's how do you manage the retro that you're earning. My wife can tell you, when we got married, our salaries were so small, but if we look at the percentage of the money we are saving then, when we just newly married, probably we have not reached there. But we could pay tithe, we could pay transport, we could save. Yeah, we could eat, not just eat kenyeji, eat reasonably. Yeah, reasonably well. And we did not go into debt. Isira kuomba nini ati unaomba neighbor you have no fare. You have no fare, mwenye kwa matatu, you're trusting God for a miracle. No. Yeah.
Ushaingia kwa matatu.
Yeah. You plan with what you have. So it's the wisdom to manage the little that you're earning. I think Otas and the team, probably we can have another session if you want to invite myself and my wife. We've done this severally. The element of budgeting, budgeting your money. That is, the budget is just giving them your money. You have your name, give it a name. Because if it doesn't have a name, it's not yours. It's on transit. It's just passing through you to somebody else. But when you give it a name, give it tithe, rent, shoes. Budgeting is a simple thing, but that is really the starting point to manage that 30,000, that 50,000, that 12,000, like myself.
Wow. Let's appreciate that.
Then the other, just to add on that also, again, when you go to an organization as an engineer and you discover you've got your degree there, and again, there is somebody else with a diploma, this is what is called the entry level. There's an entry level salary for that position. So, usilete siasa. So, mimi niko na degree nalipwa 30, huyu ni diploma, nata nalipwa 30. So, the employer in the advert put the minimum qualification. Maybe diploma was a minimum qualification.
And you chose to apply.
And you applied for the job.
Okay.
So be humble, take the job, cooperate with the diploma or the certificate guy is there. Then I trust God for when the other promotion comes, the employer might say minimum degree or minimum masters. Then you can go for it.
Wow. All right. So wewe uliamua kuchagua kazi na ku-apply. So kama ni entry level, wewe vumilia tu hapo. Philomena, high school defilement and all these GBVs, how do you counsel them? How do you make this person overcome this trauma, and how do you work with them, from where you sit, and maybe briefly just how do you go about it?
Thank you for that. First, I will start by telling everyone, choose growth over excuse. And that is what Humphrey is trying to say. If you choose growth over excuse, you'll really get somewhere. My first salary was the 1,000 stipend reimbursement you're given in organization when you attend. And I'm somewhere because of that 1,000. So basically, I will say when it comes to defilement, GBV and all that, from experience and how I deal with it myself, someone can pick up from there. Have someone who has a lived experience tell their story in front of those kids and tell it in a nice way, showing how they experienced it, how they went through it, and how they have come out of it. It makes it easy. That is what I do in schools. I tell them my story first and cut. And then from there, there are kids who are able to pick up and they can, oh, she has talked about it, I can also talk about it. And also make use of the available support systems. That is, in schools we have counselors, also we have NGOs, we have organizations that are really supporting in that. You might identify that case in a school, but you're not able to keep up with the consistency of checking up on them. Look for an organization, counselors within the school who can access the kids more than yourself, and then you can support them from time to time. That will help you to have a consistency in supporting them, even in your absentia. And also the spirit of delegating. I delegate a lot, but I also do a lot of interviews before I can delegate. I get people with lived experience like myself and channel them to assisting those students in schools. So when that kid comes on your table, you don't have to tell them, you were raped. No, it's you listen with a lot of empathy and you put aside the sympathy, because I can listen. I remember my counselor told me, your story is heavy, I don't even know how to deal with it. I remember walking out of the hospital and going to try complete suicide because I was like, mtoto mdogo mimi kwani nina story kubwa aje? But so for you to avoid such incidences now and to help them to heal, because healing is a process. I'm still healing myself. I know I'm below 30, but I'm still healing through those traumas. So it is a step a day, a step at a time, and have people who have empathy and people who are ready to listen without judgment, listen to those kids, and also delegate a lot. Use the available resources. Ukipata OTAS, akona organization. We have organizations such as Groots Kenya. We have organizations such as, we have so many organizations. Please look for me, I will give you the details. That they support even Shofco, we have Dream Girls. So all these organizations, what they do, they have people they have delegated to do that. So when you go to a school, you can connect with them and then they will come and check on those students once in a while. If it is a friend who has gone through that, listen to them without judging. Listen, you don't have even sometimes to answer, give them a hug, and from there try to handle them, understand them from where they're coming from. And that will help big time. And when it comes to you, Nikki, how to monetize community work, monetizing community work is all about writing so many proposals. Otas knows that. Writing so many proposals, and in those proposals, there is always a 10% that goes to your organization. You manage that 10% to be the person you want to be, and also the rest of the money, which is around 90, goes to implementation of projects. As you're implementing the projects, you get even more people and donors who just want to support you as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is it. The other one was also about healing.
Yeah.
Healing is a journey. I'm also in a journey of healing still, even after going for counseling for 7 years, I'm still healing. So it doesn't stop. It is one thing, Otas, Mimi, when you talk of sexual harassment, is something very key to a person like me. Kuna vile unaweza niguza tu, even if we're in this room, and it will trigger something. So healing is a process, and it depends with each and every person. So it is a process, you have to be with them, you have to walk the journey with them. And for that, if you're dealing with the community, please make sure you're building support systems. Very ethical support systems. Don't have support system of people who go around saying, unaona Flominah? She says she was raped by her dad. Now you will have killed that person even before you can help them. So build support systems which are very, very extremely ethical. And being that now I'm taking my diploma in counseling psychology, I'm even learning more. The way you talk to a person, the way you approach a person, even before they can speak, makes a lot of sense. It tells you if they are going to speak up or they are just going to shut up forever. So be mindful about how you talk, how you handle people, and be empathetic. Don't be sympathetic because Yes, I was defiled at a very young age by my father, but can I change that? No. What do I do from that? I am becoming the best version of myself, and I'm letting the world see that best version of myself, and I'm proud of myself. And one thing with people who have gone through GBV and all this is the moment they get empowered, they are just a vibe. Njeri Migu is a very, very great friend of mine, and she one day told me while I was suicidal, you see, the moment you get empowered, even that your story, you'll be tearing it without tearing down. So encourage those people to get empowered. Empower them if you have an opportunity. Because for me, I've been empowered by a lady called Purity. She has empowered me. She put me in platforms. Sometimes hata sikuwa na kitu ya kusema, but she put me there. So empower those people if you have a chance. And connect with all the resources near you. Usikufe, uwezi deal na watu watano wenye wamepitia defilement. You yourself will walk out of there with burnouts. So you have to delegate a lot and make use of the available resources.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. And just before you put the mic down, Nikki was asking, she was into communication. Now anataka kuja hii counseling psychology. Unaona baki huko kwa communication ama kuje?
Well, Nikki, when you're coming to counseling, I urge you to have a big heart for listening to stories that will break you as a person, even as with all the theory that you'll have from class. You have to have a big heart and a big support system for yourself first.
Right.
Because there are days you'll walk into a counseling room, get a child of 3 months who have been defiled, you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Even you don't know what to tell that parent. So you're already broken yourself before you walk out of there. Build your support system and circle, let it be authentic, very authentic. And from there, coming from communication to psychology, for me is okay, but muscle. Ukona your muscle. Make sure you have that muscle to do that. Yeah.
We might not see the muscle in the physical, but we know it is there. Anyway, but just to add on what she's saying about the proposals, I think it is now around 25% from 10. So it's around 25-75. And with the localization, yeah, you can always try something. Just before we wrap this segment, there's a question that was asked about work-life family balance. How do you balance? You're the MD, you're a father, you're a minister of the gospel, you're probably a church elder, you know, all these things. Kuna shule, maybe school day, unahitajika kama mzazi, you know, maybe at home your parents are also still maybe there, they're looking forward to you, you have a brother here, you know, all these things. You are in Uganda, Kenya, I mean, yeah. And also our Pastor Susan is like, we want our time, so the balance.
Yeah, it can be, of course, very, it can be quite a big thing, I would say. It's because you are one person, you're not two people, and you're trying to juggle between all these things. But just as I mentioned about the element of managing the money, there's also the part of managing the time. So whatever things that are on you or on your hands to do, remember you've got time. You've got 24 hours, you don't have 32 hours. So there's also the budgeting for the time that you have. Then there's also prioritizing. What are your priorities? So you've got to come up with that very clear. And there are some that you say, this is come rain, come shine. You're not giving this in place of something else. Like, for example, the place of family. Like, for example, if you're at work from 8 to 5, then if you have to extend after 5, then it cannot be every day. It cannot be every day you are working after 5. There could be 1 or 2 occasions where you find yourself having something that pushes beyond 5 p.m. or having a meeting in the evening or something like that. But it cannot be every day, because after 5, that time is allocated for the family, is allocated for something else. One organization I joined, and when I was talking to my colleagues in the technical sales department, I went out to meet some architects during the day. I had a meeting with some architects during the day. When I came back to the office, one of the guys asked me, where are you from? I said, I'm from office XYZ to meet some architects. Yeah, he asked, what? You are meeting architects during the day? My friend, you'll fail. architects are met at night. Yeah, these guys have no time during the day. You meet them after 5, you know, you meet them in some funny places. That's why you talk business. But you see, that was his worldview. That's how he was doing the business. For me, he was coming from another world where if I want to meet you for business, I meet you between the business hours. If you have to meet you after 5, it could be very unavoidable, but my working hours is between 8 to 5. So I ignored him. I continued meeting them during my normal working time. Because surely if you have 8 to 5, then again you're adding another 2-3 hours in the evening. What are you doing to yourself? So again, there's also that mindset that to discuss business, you have to meet after 5, which is not true. I can tell you they don't discuss business there. If it happens, maybe it's 1% of the other discussions that happen in that kind of a meeting. So prioritize, know that these are must do. Also plan your work properly. One of the things that also I try to do is I don't like procrastination, especially in terms of work-related issues. There is one employer who taught me that if you have to do it today, do it now. Do not say you'll do it tomorrow. Because tomorrow there'll be something else to do. So why are you talking about tomorrow when you can do it now? You come to the office and say, have you done this? And they say, no, I'll do it tomorrow. Why are you doing it tomorrow? What is the obstacle of doing it today? So do what you have to do today. If something else comes tomorrow, then you do it tomorrow. So I do not procrastinate. Then I also try to avoid the rush hour of trying to meet a deadline. A report is supposed to be submitted tomorrow by noon. Then you're struggling at 11:45. You're putting your PowerPoints together, or you're putting your reports together. Definitely to go out with a lot of mistakes, and your boss will find you to be very ineffective. You show out something there that is below the standard. So do it in good time, submit and get it off the way. Clear whatever is in your queue as quickly as possible. Then of course planning. When I travel out of the country, is not something that I wake up and tell my wife, by the way, tomorrow I'm going to Uganda. No. Because this is not, I'm not a doctor. So I'm not going to, not going for an ICU.
So we have an excuse for doctors, huh?
Probably.
But doctors don't take advantage.
Yeah. But this is something you planned for like 3-4 weeks. Why are you saying it a day 2? You tell your family you'll be traveling. Next month is at this date, or next week or the other week, you'll be traveling to this and that place. And that way you also bring in the element of accountability, and also you manage your time well. You also help them to manage their time well, so that it won't be like a crisis every now and then.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's appreciate the panelists one more time. I can see the time is really going. I don't know, we can take 1 or 2 rounds of questions before we can wrap up this. So we have another engineer here. We have my friend from the, So any other? So one, okay. Just let me just see the hand so that we know where we are coming. 1, 2, your hand is down again. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5. Then 6. So let's take those 6 questions. Yes.
Okay, good evening. My question goes to Humphrey. You have told us that we should love for what we do, not do what we love. And some of us who are starting our businesses at times, okay, I mean, I've done engineering. I finished my classes last year. But sai nafanya video editing. Freelance, that is, I work from home, but I work with different people. And the challenge inakuja when it comes to work with Christians. It's hard when I'm working with a church person. Mwenye nafikiria atanilipa na baraka. It's hard, So when you say like at times,
but you're also a church member. Okay, sawa.
At times unawaka na msee na kwa hii church. Pia me like niko hii church. So if you approach me for a video editing, one thing utakuja nayo ni like yala family.
Umesema family.
So whatever job nafaa kulipa maybe 30,000, utakuja na a very low pay. I love what I do. umesema like kuanzia mali unaanza because you are starting. But I think at times we need to feel like we appreciate the way we deserve, because as much as like nakufanyia the service I'm giving you, yeah, na sina do ingine nyuma na mbele. I need this money for food, I need for everything. But umekuja kunilipa 3,000 ama 5,000 job ya 30,000 and then like nikataa kuchukua and then kwa zile za like na mko na malingo Gen Z. No. I think the thing like
Gen Z were just chilling.
No, because
Okay.
I think tumekuwa tukiambiwa like tuko so hatuko patient na watu hatuko nini. But at times I think we already know the worth we should get paid for this job. This job demands this kind of pay. But mtu amekuja amekwambia this pay. Na mostly by the I'll say this and I'll say it loud. It's Christians. Because I was talking to some friends and I was telling them I'll go and edit a corporate video, secular corporate video which will pay me well, nikae vizuri, nikuje church nikuwa sawa, than nikufanyia job
Lakini unatoa
ukataa
tithe.
kunilipa. Yeah?
Tithe unatoa ukitoka huko corporate, ndio? Anyway.
So like badala nikuje nikufanyie and then like okay niko church. Nimekuja hapa, let us give an example with Pastor Taz.
Bro.
Tulia bana. Tulia. So nikuje nikufanyia job. You are one of the leaders in this church. And then tushindwe like kulileta hapo vizuri uone nikaa like nimekuwa na maringo. One thing itakuwa like I think itanilid nitoke church and I'll start working niseme like I'm done na church. Niende nikawaka na secular. So like how do you relate with people? Because me I think I'll give credit where it's due, because I'll give credit to Pastor Onesmus. That man worked with me. Nilikuanga like na feel sasa nakuja church aji na mse fulani tulikosa naye na nipasi anyways sisemi ni nani. Like ikifika like kujua worth yako, is it bad when you stand to a point like hii job nalipangwa 40k. Kasi 40k sifanyi. Ni mbaya, like does it look like ni maringo ama nini, or how do you tell someone to work with such people?
Sawa. The point is home. It is worth versus opportunity. All right. Yes.
Okay, mine is still on almost the same, but not really. Okay, to you and the Humphrey, you know, umesema ulianza na 12k. Which year was that? You know, 20 what? 2016 or something.
That was after campus.
Yeah, after campus.
Yes.
Tuo na uko matuo something.
Yes.
So isn't that the problem? Like that's the problem, like right, nini Apple, because the people who are employing us right now are people like you. When you mlianzia na 12k, so mna feel sai 2025, it's still okay to pay. Like me, I started with 12,000, and you know I've survived. See here where I am an MD. Na sai hata wewe nitakupea 12k.
Ukue MD.
12 years from now utakuwa MD. So like anyway, that's the problem. The people who are employing us, mulianzia hivyo 206, sasa tuko 2025, kuna SHA, kuna NSSF, kuna nini,
kuna
all these things. It's not like, you see, so see Maringo, we are just like, hey, you know.
Yeah, we know, we feel you. Anyway, but I think even before we proceed, I think what you were saying is contextual, context-based. He was just giving us in his context where he began. But I think the 12,000 was also figurative based on his experience. It is not like the marking scheme. It is not like where you should start. What he's trying to say is there's an entry-level position.
And again, I remember also there are people who are starting with even 100,000 from college, 100,000. So I think the point I was trying to drive home is not really where you're starting.
Yeah.
You start from somewhere, manage what you're starting, then you grow.
All right.
So it's not like we want to subject you into what we went through. It's not a 12. Not all utakipata.
All right. All right. Yes. Let's hear Gladys, then Lucy, then there were then these two. Yes.
I'd like to first appreciate what you're doing, and I'll go straight to the question, please.
Please. Yes. Thank you.
I would like to hear what your advice is to people who are in startups and those who aspire to start businesses in here. Your both theoretical and practical stuff that can help them succeed, because I've seen of late most businesses are closing down. Yeah, it's a huge concern. So kindly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What's the mic behind you? Thank you.
Praise the Lord.
Amen.
My name is Joseph. So my question is in loving what you do.
Yeah.
So based on your talking, I've come to understand that loving what you do is a mindset, right? So what kind of steps does a person who has this mindset demonstrate, or what kind of actions can you take to acquire this kind of mindset? Because some days you wake up feeling today I don't feel like doing this.
You don't feel
Yeah. So what kind of steps do you take to actually come to this mindset that I actually love what I do with enthusiasm and zeal? And the second question is, if you're not doing what you love but you're loving what you do, then that leaves the space for the desires in your heart. So how do you fulfill those? Yeah, so that's my question.
How do you fulfill the desires of your heart?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Excuse me. I wanted to clarify my question. I've seen people in the marketplace do the bare minimum and succeed, and others do all the right things and struggle. So, yeah, so I needed to hear advice, both the practical advices, what they can do, people can do to succeed in the business world, and what they shouldn't do.
All right. Let's move the mic this side. Let's have Jerry here.
Mine is just one question to both Flominah and Humphrey. What's the most important lesson you've learned about money that you didn't read somewhere that you've learned? Yeah. That's
All right.
it. Yeah.
All right, there's someone here. Diana, yes.
Hi, so my question is to Flominah. Sometimes you can, unaweza mtu your story, then they will start viewing you as that story. So what is the power in speaking out rather than, kwa nini nisikae kwangu na niongee na chat GPT, for example? What is the power in speaking?
All right, what is the point? Speaking out. There's another hand back there somewhere. Yes. Nasema chat GPT siku hizi kuna solutions.
Yeah, so my name is Kelvin. I have a question that goes to Elder Humphrey. What's the reason why we are having many graduates not going into the line where they study? For example, yours is a bit related, but if I can take an example of Mureithi, for example, he said he finished classes, but he's doing something else. He's doing video editing. You find many of the people who are graduating in a certain area, say engineering, they are doing something different, totally different from what they actually studied. So what's the problem in the marketplace or in the corporate sector?
Mesema kusoma na kazi ni tofauti. All right, I think we take those ones. Is there anyone? I am not seeing any hand. And we are about to finish, so please don't leave us here with the panelists. We are here because of you. So I think part of the question has already been responded to in regards to what Nikki was asking. So I don't want us to go back there, but working with Christians. Kazi ni ya 40K. Mtu anataka kuambia God bless you na 3,000. Sasa haileti shangwe. What happens? I mean, and
no, I think I agree with, what's your name?
Mureithi, yes.
I totally agree with Mureithi. It happens a lot, and sometimes Christians feel like maybe there's a certain level of favor that they need to get from another fellow Christian for getting
favor.
You are in business, you have bills to pay, you've done your costings. So my advice is, you've got your costings, you're in business. A Christian is a human being, right? Is a customer out there. When you get the customers, you do not start classifying them. He's a Christian, I'll charge him this much. He's a Muslim, I'll charge him that much. This guy doesn't go to church, I'll kill him. The price. No, you are in business to make profit. So it's good to go forthright and charge your worth. Maybe if he's a brother in church or a sister in church, and there's some small room for negotiation, but it cannot be it cannot be you're charging 30,000 and somebody is paying you 3,000. It's really, it's not ethical at all. It's not ethical at all. He can as well walk to where he can get a service for the 3,000.
Yeah.
So I think do not get intimidated when those such opportunities come. Charge your worth. Do your business professionally. Deliver the service.
All right.
I think the only advantage you have with a Christian is maybe there's another level of trust that you could be having with this Christian rather than any other person out there. But unfortunately, also you've seen Christians kill this trust. He's a guy you give a credit, he'll never pay, and he will even never text you say that I was not able to pay you the time we agreed because of 1, 2, 3 things.
All right.
So I think let's separate. Let's separate. You in business, you in business. You are not running in the counseling psychology program for free. You are in business to make profit,
Yes.
and it's good to charge your worth and make the person understand that the reason you're charging 30,000 and there's another guy downtown charging 3,000 is because of 1, 2, 3 things. Your value proposition.
Yeah. I think just to add on that, though I'm not a panelist, recently somebody called me that they wanted me to develop for them a policy on, it's called the PSEA policy, maybe she'll understand. And I told them, this policy goes for around 50,000, that's the market rate. And they were like, unajua wewe ni umeokoka, niko na 5,000. Niambia thank you, but I'm not taking. And she's a Christian, she has an organization, so I think just standing your ground. I did not take it, I did not die, you can see me here. So I'm still just fine, I am doing policies for other people, and it's just how life is. It's business, it's nothing personal, it's business. Yeah, so yeah.
I think the same analogy, like I think I saw it sometimes discussed in the social media platforms. When you walk into a supermarket, the prices are already fixed. And someone will go picking, fill the trolley, pay without asking anything.
Yeah.
You go to a mama boga next to your house. Hey, you want to buy something that is going for 100 shillings, want to buy at 10 bob. And you stay there bargaining for 30 minutes. Yeah? Supermarket, you don't bargain at all. But why are you, even if you're bargaining, tafadhali, kuwa na huruma. This mama boga, the hassle she has gone through to bring those burgers and those merchandise on the table, it is too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. While you're still having the mic, there's this question of, and maybe I'll also come to you because now that your organization is also more like business. So, what would you how would you advise the startups or those who are intending to get into business now that most businesses are closing down? What is the advice that maybe as an MD you'd give them? Because she was like, she has seen people do the bare minimum and succeed, and that those people who have followed the procedure and done everything, yet they don't succeed. So what is that one thing that would tick so that maybe the startup succeed?
Probably one of the things I would say is what you're doing, you need to have also a command of that industry, or rather whatever you want to put in the market. Like for example, you're not a salonist. Haujui kutengeneza nywele, then you start a salon. Can you imagine when the employees decide to go on strike? You'll have to shut down that business for that day. But if you're a salonist, even if they go on strike, you'll come and na usuke nywele. So having a mastery of having a mastery of the business you are in, it gives you an added advantage. I think the other thing also, it's good to do your research properly. Just find out people in a similar businesses, what are the challenges. Take your time, I think, to understand the industry you're getting in before you jump into it. Just find out from other people in the same line. Get all the details before you venture into it. Of course, there is the issue of the external factors of the market, which could be beyond your control, because you could have all this knowledge, you could have all this research, but the environment is not ideal for that. Rather, the economy is not in a position to support that kind of business. But I would highly recommend go for a business that you think, number one, you've got a mastery of the skills in that line, and also you have time. you have time. When you start a business and delegate to other people, one time we tried to do some, you talked about washing cars, eh?
Yeah.
We tried to do some car wash business with my wife and some other people, and I can tell you it flopped badly. We even tried to wash the cars ourselves, but we didn't go very far. Yeah, because that's not our area. So we didn't know anything about washing cars. Every day the guy with the supervisor calls and says, the machine needs a rewinding of the motor. Now what is that?
You don't know that.
Yeah, you don't know that thing. So whether he's selling us the truth or not, you pay him money to do the motor rewinding, and so many other problems that came in, and a lot of problems in there. So when again you're doing a business that you can manage it yourself, or rather you've got more than 60% of control of it, I think that would be also something to consider. Don't do something remotely. You're seated in the office and you're thinking money is working for you elsewhere. That is called passive investment. It's not business. It's putting money in money market or treasury bills or other investments. Somebody else is doing that and multiplying for you. You're doing something else. But for a business, it's a different thing.
All right.
Because you've got to get involved.
All right. Maybe you want to add something, maybe just one statement on the same, because I know you also started as a CBO. Now you're an NGO, so maybe in regards to that.
Hi again. Basically for us, it's not a business per se, but we do benefit from the proposals we write because you have to be perfect in writing those proposals. You have to be really informed when you're doing them. And you have to have the language to make sure the donors wanatoboka.
Yeah.
So ours is not a business because it's a non-profit organization. But even in the non-profit, you still have to have the skills of managing money. And as he said, you have to have an upper hand in whatever you're doing, more than even everybody else that you're going to include. Because for me, whether my organization, everybody strikes or they don't, I will still stand and talk about mental health, the policies and all that, because I already know them. I'm already doing them myself. So it becomes easier for me. And starting up is never easy, by the way. So you also have to be make sure that you're very keen when you're about to start something. Make sure you've done your investigations properly, you've done your mathematics properly, because at the end of the day, unaweza shindana na mtu kuandika proposal, yaya kona say the fathers in the department, in those organizations and what have you. So you're writing very perfect proposals, but they are not going through. But them, they are writing even shoddy ones and they are going through. So you have to have, be informed, properly informed. Do your research properly.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Our MD, in less than 1 minute, we have to revisit the issue of loving what you do and doing what you love, because now it's coming out that it's a mindset. So what are some of the actions that, or some of the things that you can do to attain this mindset? And while at it, so where is the place of meeting the desires of your heart? I mean, Jose is wondering, I have desires as well, but now I'm being forced to love what I do. So how about this thing?
Yeah. I think that's quite interesting. Loving what you do, what you are doing. It's, I would ask you, do you have an alternative? You know, what you're doing now, do you have another alternative that you'd love more than what you're doing? So, to me, is you are in a place of like, if I really don't love this thing that I'm doing, then it's going nowhere. What is my plan B then? If I don't love it, if I don't put my time, my commitment, my energy to it, what other option do I have? You might be having probably another desire in your heart there. Like, for example, I told you about getting into sales and getting engineering. Maybe I had a desire to sit behind computers and really come up with some very nice structural designs. But that opportunity wasn't there. Or rather, I didn't feel like I should pursue it. So I think we're also coming to a place where we are working from a place of limited options. If we had all these options, then maybe we could be talking about a different thing. But you are coming to a place where maybe the option you have is that one thing that you're doing. So if you don't invest in it, put energy in it, put time, love it, then it will be very difficult for that thing to succeed. Maybe as you do it, along the way, you might be able to develop and branch out to that other thing that you're desiring out there. Like for example, it could be in employment, and you love this thing that you're doing so much, but you are desiring one time you'll start a business of your own. So this employment gives you the skills, gives you the learning curve of the business you're going to get into, so that finally when you transition to your own business, you're not starting from the scratch. You're starting from the experience you've already gathered from the employment. But my point is, at that time you are employed, you do not put your thinking to that thing that you want to do 3-5 years to come. That particular time, spend it on that employer, on that employment, on that task that you've been assigned, and do it to the best of your ability, God helping you.
So where's the place of my heart's desire?
Yeah, the place of my heart desire.
Ama tutaiona huko mbele tukisoma.
Yeah.
Anyway, anyway, we get that point. But I hope you get the response. Maybe coming to you, Philomena, what is the benefit of talking or speaking out? I mean, ChatGPT siku hizi iko, tunaweza ongea tu na tuelewane tukisonga. Mpaka siku hizi nasema one time.
Yeah, there's a important of speaking up, and as you're speaking up also, it's not to everyone. I can't just meet Daktari and start telling her my story, bra, 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 bra. You know, you have to look for someone who is ethical, someone who will respect you and who respects you first. So even when you're speaking to them, there's that empathy part of that ChatGPT can't give. I've been asked that question now. Today is the 10th time. And every time I'm reminding people that ChatGPT will answer you, but it will not give you that empathy part of it. And also there's the fact that if you speak to ChatGPT, yes, it will give you answers, but there's the reality of it. Imagine meeting Otas here and you have an issue, you spoke to ChatGPT, it won't give you even a job opportunity. It won't give you platforms, it will just give you an answer. So speaking up helps you to be put on platforms that you're supposed to be and spaces where you're supposed to be. So we have safe spaces, you can speak to me and I will direct you, you can direct other people, where there is zero judgment, where we say who you see here, what you hear here, you leave it here. Those are the safest of the spaces to be, and you even get people who are supporting you because themselves, they have gone through that. ChatGPT itakujibu tu, by the way, vizuri kabisa, with very good ruzungu in it and all that. But the empathy part of, and maybe if you spoke to Otas and told him, by the way, I'm stressed, I feel depressed because I've been looking for an opportunity I don't have. And then it tells you, by the way, I have a person who needs 3 girls to go and usher tomorrow. You see, you've gotten a solution. You have gotten a more deeper solution than just an answer. So ChatGPT is good, but it to only some level. You need that empathy, and also you need to learn how to live with people in the real life. Sababu ChatGPT on AI. So for us to understand where you're coming from, you have to get people who are ethical to speak to, and people will walk you the journey. We don't give advices, but we give we don't give like opinions per se, but I will come and tell you I did this and this and this. Maybe it will work with you, okay? So the empathy part, you won't get it from ChatGPT.
All right.
And the opportunity as well. And also there's someone who asked about your dreams and all that. I'll tell you, be bold in your dreams, but be rooted in the values. So whatever you're doing in where you're doing it, have the values that you'll take to your dream.
Okay. Now, while you're still holding the mic, just Jerry asked a very fundamental question, is about money. What is that one thing that you've learned about money? That one lesson, this one you've not read in the books, but you've just learned in the course of your work. One thing that you've learned about money. Just one. He's only looking for one. Please don't give us 2.
The thing I've learned about money, you use money to make money.
Right. Use money to make money. Maybe, Humphrey, just one thing you've learned about money.
Yeah, money And money has wings. Money flies.
Oh, it
has
flies.
wings.
Okay.
So if you've got money and you do nothing about it, or you don't plan for it, it will fly away from you.
All right. So money flies. Make sure you name it before it develops wings. So many graduates are not doing what they studied. I mean, you are not doing the engineering now, structural engineering. What's happening to the education system and the workplace?
Right.
Some of them are smiling because they're in here and now they are pastors full time. So I can see my friend Sammy there is looking at me like, you're saying the truth. Okay.
It's a sad reality, I would say, to be honest with you. It's the truth is the job market has shrunk over time. So much so that we are releasing lots of engineers. Every university probably releases close to over 5,000 graduates every other 3 months, 4 months or something. But it's a lot of graduates that are coming out of the universities, the job market. The sad reality is, of course, the opportunities are not there. And that's why you'll find most of people would be doing what they're not trained for because of limited opportunities that are there. However, remember, a degree is a key. It's like a key to unlock the room. Once you get into that room, you can be everything that you want to be inside that room. So because a degree helps you to open up your mind, open up your worldview, open up your eyes to see the opportunities. So again, when the opportunities are limited, we cannot afford to be choosy, or rather we cannot afford to be so rigid with what we did. I did engineering. I must be an engineer by fire, by force. No, it may not work in an environment, in an economy like ours at the present day and age. But I'm an engineer. But there's something that is coming up. They're looking for somebody who is a graduate. Doesn't matter which course you did, which career you took. Then you apply yourself to it, and again you start to love it. Companies recruit a lot of people they call graduate trainees. They recruit everybody. Even hata kama umefanya ile wanyama, there's a course for taking care of animals, wildlife, and
What's your wildlife, please?
It is a Kenya Ports Authority recruiting somebody who has done wildlife.
Yes, graduates.
Yeah. So again, also try not to be rigid.
Yeah.
Of course, if you learned into the industry that you're trained in, well and good, because already you've got a background, you've got something that you can start with, building some foundations into that. But again, if you learn into an industry that you're not trained in, but you have the skills that are not directly related, but can help you to navigate through that space, embrace it, go for it, and take advantage of the opportunity, because they are limited and we are many. The opportunities are much less than the graduates. Universities are pouring out every other 4 months.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking at that time. We have only 5 minutes. I promise that we leave here by 6. So I don't know if there's anyone here who has a very burning question. Usipouliza hiyo swali hautanisamehea. But I don't know why you should not forgive me and you're born again. Anyway, so is there anyone who with a very pressing question, 1 or 2, before we give the panelists to give their final remarks? Because we have to keep time. Any hand going once? Yes, there's. I knew the man of God that was a question. Sami Nema is back there. Any other person? Just one more in case. Going once, going twice, going. Okay, then you give Peter back there. Then I think we'll close there, right? Yes. Yes, Sami. Is the mic working? All right, yes.
Thank you for the opportunity. So my question goes to both of them. What will you tell somebody who never got an opportunity maybe to further their education? Because probably some of them didn't get the grades, or some of them financial constraints. Is it too late, or where should they start to move without pressure? Yeah.
Okay. How do they move without pressure? Okay. Yes, Peter.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Peter. I have a question to Elder Humphrey as a follow-up of something you've said. I am not married, but you've talked about budgeting.
Sijali, there are ladies here who are not married. It's fine. Eh? Mm-hmm.
So,
sorry. So I didn't mean to. Okay, sorry. Yeah, budgeting.
Yeah. So, I needed to ask, is it that you have programs that you run about money and budgeting? Because I'd love that. I need help with money. Money matters.
Money matters, and you're not married. Okay. So we will help you with all of them. All right. So I think let me just come to you. Then I'll give it to Humphrey. Then we will wrap it up. So what would you tell someone who did not have an opportunity to further their education, maybe because of some financial challenges or something happened and they did not further their education? How would you advise them to proceed? And of course, there was a disclaimer, without pressure. So as you advise, remember, we don't want pressure. You know, the thing with Gen Zs is that you have to ask what they ask. Don't change it. Otherwise, yeah.
So what I will say, I think I've been that person for the longest. I've been that person who struggled to even have information. So when you get opportunities as this, the opportunity you have today, don't sleep on them, make good use of them. And I struggled. I went back to school in 2021, and that is 6 years down the line after my Form 4. And I think if I still had that mentality of, sikuwa na school fees and all that, that says, I will tell you point blank from myself, you have to push yourself harder. You have to have a lot of consistency in whatever you're doing, and you have to maintain your vision. You have to maintain it in a manner that utajipanga, not because of the circumstances that are there, but knowing where you want to go. You have to be prepared for those opportunities, because when I joined the NGO world, I knew I don't have any papers to show, because I remember one time I was called as a program manager in an organization by the CEO himself. But the reason why today I'm not there as a program manager in that NGO is because I didn't have the papers. So there's something he left with me. He told me, you have a lot of information. It's high time you think of how you can put that on your papers and work hard. Don't continue crying on, oh, I didn't get the opportunities. Please push yourself, even if it's in the smallest of the ways, even if you'll have to go to school, maybe unaenda evening classes, unafanya distance learning. For me, I'm doing distance learning, and I've finished my course, my diploma in social work. I'm now in my second semester in counseling psychology. Nobody pays for me, I do it by myself, but it's because I pushed myself. I know what I need, and the market needs me to be ready so that I can get those opportunities. So I know the struggles, it's not the end, but push yourself a little bit harder.
All right, thank you. Humphrey, just on the same, briefly, we are past time with 2 minutes, so briefly, I've not had an opportunity to further my studies, and I want to go back, or rather I'm looking for a solution, but I also don't want pressure, because nowadays we must take care of our mental health as Gen Zs. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I 100% agree with my colleague here. It's never too late. It's never too late to go back to school and catch up where you left, or study that thing that you wanted to study. But again, the element of pressure, because if we continue saying that without pressure, then we might be there for a long time. Because time might be flying out because you really don't want to undergo any pressure. 1 year is down, no pressure this year. Another one, no pressure this year. They say they can go to school anytime. So it's also, I think it's also good to come up with an objective and say, give yourself a target and say, let's say by 2027 or by 2028, I ought to have finished my diploma, my degree, or whichever career you want to pursue. So it's also good to challenge yourself, because you see, life has pressure, to be honest with you. Because even when you start that masomo, pressure will come.
Yeah.
Pressure will come. If the pressure is saying no pressure, it will come. Because you've got to do the reading, you've got to do the assignments, you've got to be a student like any other.
Yeah.
So put your planning in place and say, oh, yes, I appreciate that I did not get an opportunity to go to school when I was supposed to be. However, this is my challenge, or this is what I'm challenging myself with. In the next 3 years, I want to have finished my diploma, my degree, my master's in XYZ that I want to study. You need to have a plan for it.
Right.
Yeah. I think there's a gentleman who asks about
the budget. Do you have a class or something?
Yeah, I think you can see he's trying to get into Chat GPT. I think that guy may not help you so much in budgeting. He'll just give you what is budgeting and what you can do about it. Budgeting is a practical experience. It's not something that you talk about and you do not do it. And budgeting is simple. Don't complicate it. Start with your income. This is XYZ I'm earning. You then go to tithe. I will give you this principle because I think it works. And go to your savings. There's a principle you used to use here of 20% of your income to be your saving. Then I'll go to your other mandatory obligations, the rent, the transport, the food, and all that. And you'll discover when you do your budget properly, you might discover that you've really been wasting money for useless things that are not really adding any much value to you. Like, for example, maybe you've just been walking and doing some impulse purchase. You find something very nice on the street, even when you don't need it, unaingia, unachukua. When the guy is selling na anakuwa excited, yeah, you look like, I don't know, the Queen of England. Then you pick it.
All right.
Then the following day, that thing you haven't even worn it for a week. Another day you are passing by, camera, some very nice clothes, zimefunguliwa leo. Unachukua.
Ini beli mpya.
Yeah. So when you do your budget properly, you discover that there's a lot of things that you are spending your money on which are not really necessary, which you do not need. If you don't have that thing, you won't die. You still wake up tomorrow breathing well, good, saved, and go back to your businesses. But again, it's something that you need to put into practice. You need to be deliberate about it. There's some couple we are trying to help to do some budget together, the family budget. And the first time they tried it, the expenses became more than the income. So it was negative, and they were beginning to get discouraged. But you encourage them, just go back. Though your expenses are more than your income, go back to those things you're saying you must spend on them and try to narrow them down. Remove this, remove that. Try to make some adjustments here and there. Probably where you're staying, you are paying too much rent, and you could get an alternative place and pay like 5K cheaper, and still is a house, good quality, decent place. Plan to relocate so that you can save some 5,000, take it somewhere else. When you look at that, you'll pick a lot of elements in your budget that are there as good to be, but really they are not necessary for your life. Then avoid impulse buying. Don't buy things you've not planned for. Avoid, people sometimes they go to the supermarkets and there's offers, excitement. Yeah, there's a bluebird with a small baby bluebird tied together. Then unanunua 5, unasema hey, hii offer itaisha. Buy 5 of them to keep in the house. So
and then they expire.
Exactly. So avoid such decisions. Approach your money in a very intelligent way, knowing that it is limited. You have got so much that you need to meet in terms of obligations, but your income is limited. So you've got to work with what you have.
All right. Now, while you're still there, maybe in just 30 seconds, maybe you could give us your closing remarks until we call it the parting shot. So maybe looking at that camera, you can give us the parting shot so that we call it a day.
Yeah, this has been a very engaging and enriching session, and I really applaud the leadership of the youth for putting this together. I still feel that we've just like scratched on the surface. I believe that you'll have more opportunities with more time to discuss these things together. And again, I want to encourage you, if you are struggling in a certain area that we've talked about here, you feel free to reach to us directly, and we'll be able to give you one or two strategies or wisdoms on how to approach it. But kudos to the youth leadership. Keep it up. We look forward to more engagements like these ones. Thank you.
All right. Let's appreciate Elder Humphrey. Just before you switch it off, I don't know if there is a way they can reach out to you, because you said reach out. Do you want to probably don't give an email, a number, and maybe just put a disclaimer on what time to call or what time to text? I've dealt with Gen Zs, and they can be invasive. I know what I'm saying. So yeah, maybe a disclaimer on the time to call or the time to send an email or something, so that we also don't get on the other side. You know,
Right. I think maybe I would prefer to give out my email address. Maybe that could be better for
so you can just write that
so
one
that
down.
you can express maybe the things you're looking to, and also I will have time to digest and internalize it. Because when you call me, you may not reach me, or rather, I may not have conversation because I could be in the middle of many things. So my email address is humphrey.kinyua@gmail.com.
Humphrey.kinyua@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Humphrey.kinyua@gmail.com. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let's appreciate Humphrey one more time. No, but let's appreciate Humphrey. If you're not clapping, you'll tell me why you're not clapping. Very nice. All right. This thing is going off. Thank you. I've seen your clap. I've seen it. You even had to. Yeah, that's good. Thank you, Mary. Philomena, you have 30 seconds to just look at that camera and give us your parting shot, and we end this thing.
Thank you to everyone. Thank you for listening to us, and thank you for even sparing your time to be here with us for all that long. What I'll say is, don't give up. It's okay not to be okay, and have a consistency in everything that you're doing. And consistency means if you're supposed to be up by 5, even when you're not doing anything, be up by 5 to make sure that your system is very consistent even by itself. And then I'll say, choose growth again over excuses. There are so many excuses I would have given, but I chose growth because growth is not simple, it's not easy. You have your pressure yenye Gen Z tunakataa, lazima uweke your pressure ndio ufike mahali. So choose growth over excuses. Thank you.
Before they clap, because I know they're itching to clap, how can we probably reach you? Maybe the organizational email, or whichever way you prefer. Is it the email, the number, or something where we can reach you?
Well, for me, I always prefer either WhatsApp or emails. But if you call me kidogo, tutakuwa na mise, hatutaelewana, because during the days, actually my days Monday to Monday, I'm so engaged.
Okay.
So if you WhatsApp me, if you leave a text on WhatsApp any time of the night or day, I will answer. And then if you email me, you might get my reply or somebody from the office.
Okay.
So it's okay.
Give us the email.
The email is my name, Flominah.Mucheke, just the way it's written, at gmail.com. You might get replied by CEO.mind2heart.global. So yeah, those two emails. But the main one is Flominah.Mucheke@gmail.com, and my number is 07 02 269 113. You can do WhatsApp message, but please, when you're doing it, usiseme hi. When you're doing that WhatsApp message, say, hi, I'm Flominah Mucheke. I met you at this and this and this place. I need this and this help. I'll be able to understand and get you from where you are. But ukiniambia hi, I don't reply to hi.
Okay. It is good to put it across. Usiseme hi, just get to what you want so that we know how to sort you. Sawa sawa. Ladies and gentlemen, let's appreciate Philomena. Now let's appreciate Philomena. All right. Poleni sana tumepitisha na 13 minutes. It was not our intention. Ni nyinyi mliuliza maswali mingi. But please appreciate yourselves, please. So we want to end it there. We want to appreciate the leadership of this church, led by Apostle David Juma and our Mama Sunta Juma, and of course the entire leadership as it were. And of course you, dear, wonderful young people, for turning up. You see, we would have organized this thing, but if you're not here, haingefanyika, si ndio? So thank you so much. God bless you. And also our panelist, Bwana Humphrey, thank you so much for sparing time to be with us. And of course, I want to appreciate in a special way our, let me now call her our mom for now. Our mom, Susan Humphrey. She preached in both the two services. And she's still here. That is sacrifice. So let's appreciate her better. And also, of course, the media team led by Peter and every other person who was involved. Thank you so much. Those who have been following us online, God bless you. See you another time. Thank you so much. May the grace Amen. Also want to appreciate the team from Kasarani. Thank you for coming. And any other church that is represented that I might not have mentioned, please karibu. Asanteni sana.